welcome to my studio.
Awesome. I've seen some of your studio posts because you post quite a bit of video online, so that's kind of exciting to see your work in progress.
Yeah.
And I know you have a really broad background in art in general, presenting other artists, and have really been involved in the arts scene in Toronto and even beyond. So that's always exciting, but now you're presenting yourself as your own artist, and it's excited to see what you're doing yourself. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about your art practice and what you're excited to show at ArtWalk in the Square.
I would love to. I would love to. So yeah, for anybody who is familiar with Petroff Gallery, that was my gallery for 20 years. And I sold it about 9 years ago so that I could come back to my own art process and expression. It has been a number of years, and so I'm really glad to finally get this up and running. I'm very excited to be at the shops in Don Mills. My art what my art is actually about is tracing history in the form of paper.
Oh,
and
wow.
You know, we are a digital culture now, and our kids are not interested in in owning things and having things. And so all of those things that brought us meaning, or you know, relatives meaning, and we have all of these items, they're no longer useful. It's like outdated ephemera. So what do we do with that? And I like to keep these items and rework them into new pieces and give them new meaning, new value. So I'll just give you an example of that.
Yeah, that'd be great.
This is an incredibly, I don't know if you can see this, is an incredibly old architectural text.
Yeah.
That's written both in Latin and in German, like a really old pressing of it. So these are pieces that I would work in to some of my pieces. This was actually an old, I'm a fiend for old papers. It's like a kid in a candy store. This was a doctor's day book from 1858 to 1867.
Wow.
And the reason I bought this is, I don't know if you can see how, you know, this is an art form that's no longer seen, used. And so I'm using it in one of my newest pieces, which I'm hoping will get done for this show. I don't know. But I'm just going to take you and show you. Can I take you for a little walk?
Yeah, that'd be great. We'd love to see your studio and love to see some of the work you'll be presenting. That'd be great.
Okay. So this is one that I'm with that old ledger.
Oh.
I'm working on a piece about Shakespeare. But it takes time.
I can see that with the kind of the collar and the sleeves, the shoulder piece. Beautiful.
Yeah, and each one of these, because you know everything takes drawing time. Yeah, it's a very slow process. This one behind me, everybody who's come into the studio just loves any of the works that I do with comic books.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Yeah, there's comic books, but it adds a lot of color and kind of depth to color, because the old ink prints, right? The inks and the dots, it's just really like a lot different than.
And it's not so much even about what it's showing, it's that it evokes memory. Mm-hmm. And so my pieces are actually, many of my works are in the form of, I'm going to take you upstairs so you can see sort of the studio space or the gallery space. Many of my works are in the form of dresses. Mm-hmm. And it's not for any type of costume. It's not intended as a historical costume, but rather a safe place to bring forward your own memories.
Right.
This was actually
beautiful.
Thank you. This was actually one that I did with petals from a bouquet of flowers I got for my birthday.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah. So that is, for the most part, my works are about that sense of history on paper. At the show, I'll have those, and I will also have some new pieces that are landscapes.
Oh. Can you show us one of those, or are there work in progress? Are there finished pieces? Do you have?
Sure. Hang on
I
for a
haven't
sec.
seen. I've seen a lot of these, like the clothing and the dress wear and that, but I haven't seen your landscape at all. Oh well.
So the landscapes I'm working on are multidimensional as well. I really love that sense of dimension. So I don't know if you can see.
Yeah. Is it?
There's a canvas, and then there's the acrylic in front of it, right?
Oh, I
So
see. Okay.
I paint in front, on the front and the back of the acrylic, so that, and use standoff hardware. And
Oh, okay.
I've got a lot of
So
light
it's
on
like
this one.
two layers. Oh yeah, I see that with the metal.
That's right. So that, you know, and it took me, um, all of the landscapes that I've done so far have sold so quickly, which is why I decided, okay, I think it's time for me to put some of these into the show. They're also much easier to carry.
Yeah. Well, they're probably, I don't know necessarily faster, but you don't have that in regards to hours and stuff. People always ask questions like that, but like the dry time, like, I mean, that is, are you using acrylic on that there, right? Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For
So the
sure.
dry
They're
time, and
much.
you can finish a piece quicker and have instead of having to wait between some of these, like when you're doing, you're doing like almost like a paper mache, right? Like that, and the glues and stuff like that.
Yeah, sometimes I'm working wet, sometimes I'm working dry, creating darts and sort of origami, like creating uh, structure from that paper. But yeah, it's not exactly paper mache. I'm using an acrylic polymer,
Right. Yeah.
and sometimes I use fiberglass behind it for stiffening.
Yeah, but it acts the same. I just say paper mache for people who
Yeah.
don't like. There's so many different mediums you can use in your mixed media work, right? And
Yeah.
you seem to use a lot of different materials, but you don't use wire to create any of the structure underneath. It's all paper, right?
Uh, there are times I use tinfoil if I need to
Right.
create like a real full out. And I do use wire because I sometimes have a scarf, for instance, that's trailing back
Oh,
and
I
it
see.
has this kind of flow. So I will use wire, and I'll use wire for beading as well.
Right. Oh, I didn't know you did beading on some of your pieces. Oh, that's
Hmm.
lovely. Yeah. So really, you must have like bins and bins of stuff that you just kind of can pull from and have wherever you feel that creative. So a lot of it is
Did you
is
see the
work.
studio? Yes, bins and bins and bins and bins and bins of stuff.
And you're probably always collecting, right? My husband
I'm
says
always
that to me, like
collecting.
I'm always looking and collecting.
Well, and actually at this point, I have so many people who connect with me and say, I'm, I'm at an age where my friends are unfortunately losing their parents.
Yeah.
And so as they're
Cleaning
cleaning
house.
out their homes, I come into possession of a number of really interesting things, whether it's jewelry, whether it's passport documents. Those are the historical pieces are really what creates the interest. And
Mm-hmm.
it's not so much that it's one person's passport document, it's that it triggers a memory, and that's what really brings a viewer in. It's not only the story of the piece, but it's also the story that it invokes in you, and it's a very safe place to bring that forward.
Yeah. 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 There's definitely it's an immediate connection for people, right? And then they can put their story into your story, right? Yeah. I think
Yeah.
that, but like art's able to do that on many levels. So I think that's really great. It's beautiful work, Sarah. I'm excited to see it in person because I actually don't think I've seen your work in person yet. So I'm looking forward to seeing you at the show. Um,
Thank you. I have to say it has been tough through COVID because my work is so dimensional, and it doesn't photograph. That's why I do a lot of video for
mhm.
my social media, because you need to walk around a piece, you need to experience it from different angles. There are different, so it needs to have eyeballs on it.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited that this show will bring that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, definitely. I think all artwork is great if you can see it in person, but definitely like sculpture or three-dimensional components, it's really great it's really hard to photograph well. right?
Right.
It's not like you can stick yours on a plate and even photograph it well. You have to really, like, it's difficult to photograph artwork in the best of times. So I think that's great. I think that these are great opportunities. Art Walk in the Square is a great opportunity for people to come out and check out what's happening in the arts in Toronto, follow these artists. So Sarah, is there anything else you want to share about your work or your practice? Maybe share your social handles and your website,
Sure.
how people can find you. And do you have anything else coming up or anything else that you want to like tell people about?
Absolutely, absolutely. Just to add to the stress, I have another show the following weekend here at my home.
Oh, okay, awesome.
So I will show the front of that. I don't know if that comes out frontwards or backwards for you. Do you see it?
It's backwards. It says pop-up exhibition. Yeah, it's
Oh,
backwards.
it is backwards. Okay. So if you go to my social media, it's Petroff Design is the website, petroffdesign.com. On Instagram, it's Petroff Design, and on Facebook, I think it's Petroff Design 1, I think. And if you send me your, everybody who's listening to this, if you send me your email, I will send you the details about where it is and when it is. It's actually 3 artists showing together. So I'll be showing with Richard Sturgeon and Ayala Barr, who's a jewelry artist.
Oh, lovely. Awesome.
So yeah, everybody, I'm looking forward to seeing you out on the square. I hope you all make it, rain or shine.
Yeah.
And let's hope for shine.
Yes. Yeah.
Shine is always good.
Yeah, awesome. All right, well, we'll see you in a couple weekends, and I'm going to post this so people can watch it, and it'll also be on our YouTube channel, so people can download it as well. Awesome.
Wonderful. Great
Thanks so
speaking
much.
to you. Thanks for having me on.
Thanks so much, Sarah.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.